we're live. We're live.
Huzzah!
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to more Fire Emblem Marathon. I am Rocket Shade, and I'm joined by, the
ever famous vagabond commentator.
So last time we left off with, as you recall, essentially we had just beaten Grief and in Cthulhu's Chapter 3, and we were about to finish that up and then go on to Chapter 4. So this would be a shorter stream. But there's some special bonus content at the end that even Draven doesn't know about.
Oh, lovely!
That's not fireman related.
Oh, something that's not Fire Emblem related?
You'll see when we get to it. Anyway. So last we left off, Celica had just defeated Grief, and was on her way to the temple to see Mila. So apologies if this seems random, but I'm really continuing right where we left off last week, so if I'm off by a bit, apologies. Anyway, upon reaching the temple, guess who's missing?
On?
Mila. Mila is missing. Like, she's completely gone.
How does a divine dragon go missing just suddenly?
Well, it might be because Emperor Rudolph, the Emperor of Regale, kind of defeated her in battle and took her using falchion. There's even a cutscene to show it.
Okay, sure.
Unfortunately, the temple is also being occupied by Regalian forces, and more worryingly, a Arcanist. And this Arcanist summons gargoyles!
You seriously still sound like you were on the low quality. I do not know what it is.
I'll check my damn settings. Anyway, can you guess what gargoyles are?
Well, I imagine evil stone own things.
Essentially, yes. They're the demonic spiders of the game.
Sounds lovely.
It's
Fucking lovely.
And so yeah, and then after that hellish mission, because I legit don't like that mission, because it's simply, can you kill all the mages before they kill you?
Just sounds peachy.
Yeah.
Just sounds divine, honestly.
Okay, let's see how. Is it better now?
Slightly, sort of.
How about this?
Keep going.
This is the highest it could go.
I don't know what it is then. Like, what headphones are you using? What microphone are you using? Better question.
I'm using a microphone attached to a gaming headset.
Have you always been using?
At the stream, we had connection issues with our party, and we couldn't actually make it work for a while. And also, I lost my voice yesterday. I couldn't speak at all yesterday. So, yeah. If I sound far off to everyone, that's why. Anyway. after completing the finale of Celica's Chapter 3, Celica finally freaking says full out that she's the long lost princess of Zofia, and she gets an automatic class change.
Sounds lovely.
Can you guess what her class change is called?
I saw it earlier, and princess.
Yep. All she really gets is a fancy circlet.
Lovely. Sounds just stupid.
Yeah, and there's this weird thing where afterwards, Celica's portraits is weird because at the center of her chin there's a bit of shading, which makes it look like she has a mole, but it's actually just shading, and it looks really off. This was not present in beforehand, so it always bugs me.
Grand.
Anyway, after that, it's on to Chapter 4 with the floodgates opened. So, Draven.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what the maps look like for Chapter 4?
I have no idea. Honestly, you should prepare to be guiding me through this plot.
I already have been. Anyway, Chapter 4 is where the game starts to pick up. But remember how in Chapter 3, Celica had a side path to go on?
Yeah.
Well, now Alm does.
And what does that side path lead to?
The most bullshit map in the entire game besides the final map, and a very nice Cavalier, and the best healer in the game. And a bunch of goodies.
So we'd be on Act 4 right about now, right?
Yeah, this is Act 4. I'd also like to note something that it hasn't been mentioned before, but besides the Thieves' Shrine, the dungeons are really fucking creepy. Like, and they just get creepier. So the Thieves' Shrine, were in Celica's Chapter 2, in Chapter 2, I guess, isn't unsettling, but Chapter 3 things are getting creepy, because there's the Dragon Shrine for Celica's path, and apparently it is a gateway to the underworld.
Oh!
Which is funny.
Neat.
Which is funny, because there's a giant lake on one side, and at the end, guarded by a Necro Dragon, there's a revival spring, which while in casual is useless, in classic, it allows you to revive one character with no charge. It's essentially in case you screw up and get somebody killed, you can use that to get them back. I think there are 4 of these.
Sounds well that.
And in Alm's Chapter 3, the Sylvan Shrine, it is a dungeon / prison / tomb. No, like, there's literally what is pretty obviously bodies wrapped up in cloth hanging from the ceiling in prison, in cells.
Huh.
Yeah. It's unsettling.
Yeah, I got nothing.
So, do we want to do Celica chapter 4 or Alms chapter 4 first?
Let's get through Alm.
Actually, I'm gonna say no to that because, to be honest, you can't complete Alms chapter 4 until you complete Celica's. It's really dumb, I know.
Alright, sounds stupid, but okay.
It also cements that Alm is the true main character, not Celica.
I'll roll with it.
I am going to see if I can't find the maps.
I'm just at least happy that he's going. That soon we're going to see one of my favorite boys. Always the main man, Zeke.
He's an Alm. Anyway.
Yeah, I know, but we'll get to him soon.
So there are 9 parts. First up, we have the Dead Man's Mire.
Sounds pleasant.
Yeah, no, I found this on IGN. Okay, here's the problem that happens with Celica's chapters. This very first one, there's a giant poison box that is between you and all the enemies. And the Cantors, sorry, they're called Cantor summoners, will summon nothing but gargoyles. Can you get the problem?
Yeah.
It takes forever. All I remember the chapter is slowly move my units across, healing them as much as I can, and hoping to God none of the enemies get a critical. Because there are dread fighters here, by the way. After that, there's the Mire Boneyard, which is 4 Necro Dragons, and the only real interesting thing is the conversation at the beginning of the fight, before the actual fight. Wanna know what it is?
Go on.
Essentially, Bowie freaks out because, oh god, we're in a graveyard. Oh yeah, by the way, Bowie is afraid of graveyards and terrors. Bowie runs up. Bowie is terrified of terrors again. May says, get over it. Bowie goes, alright, I'll go. And then May says very suddenly, oh, this one's full of Necro Dragons. And then we hear Bowie do this. Ah! Very loudly.
Sounds... Yeah, no, sounds about right.
Essentially, May just essentially made Bowie run straight into a Necro Dragon. By calling him a chicken.
Sounds about right.
Now the next part is called Dolph's Keep. Which, guess what this one is?
I'm not gonna like where we're gonna end up here, but go on.
Essentially, you're storing a keep that's surrounded by muddy water. The boss is a Cantor that summons Necro Dragons.
Oh.
And there is only a single 1x1 tile entrance. And if you don't get inside quick, you're gonna get hit by the swamp water.
Okay, sure.
However, there's one nice thing. Guess what happens in story after this?
Go on.
The boss, Dolph, the guy who summoned the Necro Dragons, is still alive and says essentially to Celica, if you come with me, I'll make sure none of your friends die. Celica. Okay, one second. My cord. Can you guess what Celica says in response to him?
Go on.
No, seriously, guess.
I mean, I'm hoping it's not something stupid.
You'd be wrong.
Why can't she ever just do something like fucking sassy for once? Like she usually is. At least, come on! Come on!
She's literally about to accept those offer and go with him until the masked knight runs in and kills Dolph and then proceeds to bitch talk Celica into the ground. Okay, you know, I'm actually gonna go and find it and just literally bring up the conversation, okay?
Okay. I'm just trying to take all that in for a sec.
Okay. I think I found it. I think.
Well, feel free and hit it.
I have to scroll all the way down. Like, yeah, boy. Never mind. It looks like the game. It looks like it doesn't have that. So anyway, after bitch slapping him, guess what happens next?
Go on.
The masked knight removes the itsy bitsy little piece of the mask covering him. Seriously, look up and reveals himself to be Celica's half brother, younger than her, Conrad.
He looks like a red-haired Gawain.
Yeah, well, put this simply, Conrad kind of got brought in by some fancy sage whose name I forget, Halcyon, there we go, and got raised by him. Because Conrad's mother was Regalian. So Karn is technically Regalian as well.
I see.
I say this for a reason because it's important for the final battle. Now, the other thing to mention, this is kind of funny, but here's the thing about Conrad. When his mask is off, he's a quirky younger brother who's obviously struggling to be a good brother. But the second he puts on his mask, he becomes over the top and heroic and very gallant. To quote Celica, it's like having two little brothers. Having the mask on drastically changes Conrad's personality for no other reason than it's funny. Anyway, guess what's after Dolph Keep and that shit show? Then we have the dungeon for Celica's Act 4. Can you guess what it's called?
Go ahead.
Lost Treescape.
Oh, that sounds pleasant. That doesn't sound menacing at all. What are you talking about?
Draven, everyone can hear you playing FGO.
I have reasons!
I know. Anyway, the Lost Treescape is annoying for two reasons. Sorry, three. One, its layout is stupid. Looking at it on the wiki, it looks easy, but when you're going through it, it gets very confusing very fast. Secondly, the enemies are all assholes. And thirdly, the music is very creepy. In fact,
It's not really much of a complaint unless you're easily terrified, like my compatriot here.
shut it. I am going to bring it up, the music, and you are going to hear it.
Look, when it comes to music, you're gonna have to try pretty fucking hard to disturb me. Hurt me. I have heard worse.
That's...
Look, you can't really top... Look, you can't really top up the fucking Summer BB theme.
Okay, well, no. I can't find a video of it, but Lost Treescape is not terrifying, it's unsettling.
Okay, I guess that's a little bit better, but still, can't be that bad.
I'm trying to find it. For some reason, I can't find... What the hell? I'm trying to find one, just give me a goddamn minute.
You know, I could just look it up myself.
Found it, I found one. Well, there isn't an official music version. Here's the closest thing I could find. There's no, like, overlaying.
Well, I can't really listen to it right now, so it's gonna have to wait.
Well, then I'll just put it way up closer to my ear and then my mic and then let it play.
No, you don't have to. Like, I can't listen to it. Just don't worry about it. I'll listen to it later. Then I'll give you my opinion. That'll be a later thing, so give it time, my comrade.
Fine. Anyway. Lost Treescape sucks. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like the forest from Ocarina of Time, but not as stupid. Not Ocarina of Time. Shit. What's that area in Legend of Zelda is like endless going through the same damn screen thing?
I haven't played the Legend of Zelda game
Lost
besides
Woods.
Twilight Prince.
It's like the Lost Woods.
Okay.
Anyway, the second to last area is the Duma Gate, which is annoying for one simple reason. Can you guess?
No, I cannot.
To put it simply, there is an enemy, the boss in fact, that every 2 or 3 turns will use a move called Quake, which damages every single unit on the map, no matter where they are.
Oh!
And guess what?
That's
and
balanced.
Guess what the map is based off of?
The original.
You remember Inigo's Paralog?
Yeah.
It's almost an exact carbon copy of Inigo's Paralog.
To be fair, that could have been the first one. That could have been how
Okay.
That could have been how Fire Emblem Gaiden originally was.
Okay, yeah, but there's the fact that it's full of enemies that are much tougher than anything in Awakening. In a bad way.
Lovely. Just personally lovely, I'm telling you. This is just... Oh, bloody hell.
Now, can you guess what the final map of Celica's Chapter 4 is?
Something involving witches.
It's a dungeon. It's called Duma Tower.
What is it occupied by?
Arcanists and terrors.
So in other words, everything hell.
I mean, firstly, there's something called the Lady Blade in one of the chests, which is essentially made for for female mages who have classed up. But here's the problem with this place. In dungeons, each dungeon gets a unique map. They're generally all the same, but Duma Towers is tiny. It has a bunch of, it's the same amount of tile space, but there's a bunch of, you know, walls and buildings in the way that give you so little room to move. It's a clusterfuck. And there are
fun.
It's 4 floors, and at the end of every floor, there's an unavoidable fight that respawns if you leave the tower. Or hell, if you even go far enough away after a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah. It's really bullshit. And then guess what happens at the top?
I'm gonna imagine demonic possession.
Yes, actually. Essentially, Jeddah appears, tells Celica, and...
I think you're cut off there.
Don't worry. No, I just stopped for a second. And then we see a CG of Mila as a dragon having been petrified, with falchion in her forehead.
Oh.
And now guess what happens? This happened earlier on in this part. Jeddah said, "Come to Duma Tower and give me your soul, and I will stop, and I'll give you back Mila."
I see.
I'm gonna quote this. Celica, there's no other choice. Without the divine dragon's power, all of Valente's people are lost, and so the only thing that can save the dragon is the soul of a brand bearer. Yeah, Celica doesn't really trust any of the people in Valentia. Conrad, Antes, which is Celica's actual name. You made me a promise, remember? You promised to throw your life away again. Celica, I'm sorry, Conrad. I'm sorry, everyone. Please forgive me. Blah, 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 blah. Then Jeddah says, "You lot are no longer necessary. Be gone to wherever you will." And then the entirety of Celica's party is warped away. And Celica has to watch suffer. I'd also like to note, I forgot this. After the Lost Treescape, you go to the Sage's Hamlet, which is where Conrad is from, and then how do I explain this?
Is there? I doubt there's any way to explain it that doesn't make anything better about this.
Well, no. So essentially, the Sage sends a projection of Celica to Ulm, and then Ulm gets his promotion.
And what is that promotion, you might ask?
Hero.
Wow.
He gets.
Oh yeah, right. We're not at. We're not Conqueror yet.
No, he gets a fancy shield and can use bows now.
I still kind of love that. I still can't get over that Walhart is a descendant of Alm.
Anyway.
Mainly because I kind of approve of that.
Yeah, so do I. Anyway, would you like now that we're done with that bullshit, it's time for Alm's Path.
Where we actually get something good. What is good, you might ask? Well, how about fucking everything?
Firstly,
are we gonna talk about my boy?
The very first chapter of Act 4 for Alm, you're fighting against Berkut.
Well, I mean, that's close to my boy. That's like secondary cavalry boy.
Which, to put it bluntly, at this point, Berkut is getting really pissed off because he's already lost to Alm, a commoner, once. So he asks his uncle and Berudov if he can go and kill Alm this time. Can you guess what happens?
Oh boy.
He loses.
Yep.
And guess what? And before this chapter, this weird, creepy witch called Nui Baba gave Mr. Berkut a fancy mirror.
What does this thing do, you might ask? Well, please explain. I have no idea.
Well, I'm gonna scroll down. By the way, Fernand's here too.
I'm sorry, what?
Fernand is also here. He's essentially wherever Berkut goes. Now, Berkut breaks the mirror, and guess what happens?
Go on.
Ghostly heads come out of every single solar shadow and starts grabbing them. And apparently it's Duma's power.
I'm sorry. Okay, that's something out of a fucking horror game.
And then something happens. Essentially, this weird charm that Silk gave on with the game way back in the prologue activates and destroys the effect.
Okay. Sure.
And then back at Regal Castle, Berkut breaks something like glass. And now I am going... Draven, would you like to read this with me?
I don't even think I can read this with you because oh boy.
No, I'm gonna give you a freaking. I'm gonna give you a link.
Oh, feel free, send it. I'm all fucking ears.
You can play Berkut.
I can't do this man justice. I really
just
fucking
do it.
Can't.
Scroll.
I have to do this. I have to do this bullshit. It's always me.
Scroll down to about a fourth way down the page. It starts with Berkut breaking something like glass and yelling, "Damn him!"
Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I found it.
Start, comrade.
This is gonna be a rough one, but hold up. Here we go. Damn him. Why? Why can't I beat him? To be humiliated. It's so by a commoner twice. Twice, no less!
And by the way, I'm playing Renea and then question mark, question mark, question mark. My lord, please, you must try to calm down. You are safe. That's all I need to be.
Silence, councilwoman. What could you possibly know?
I'd like to know. This is where Berkut starts to break down, because before this, Berkut has been the kindest person to... Berkut has been nothing but kind to Renea. All the time. Renea. Berkut!
From childhood, that's all that's ever been asked for me, strength. It is my duty as one born to stand above others, to rule. I've been taught that all my life by my father, my mother. How am I to remain calm in the face of defeat at the hands of peasants? I even debased myself by making use of that deviant's powers, and it's still not enough?
Call to me. You who thirst for power, call to me.
Who is? Identify yourself!
Berkut, what's the matter? You're frightening me.
You don't hear it. What was that voice?
By the way, ladies and gents, spoilers, that voice is Duma.
And just exactly as it sounds, he's probably, and just exactly as his past dictates, he's probably just a little bit pissed off. Still.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, give it credit, Duma! When it comes to Duma's look, that isn't like demonic dragon form, he actually looks like a very respectable and honorable man.
We only get to see him once in a very hard to get memory prism, but he looks... Ooh, he looks badass!
He literally looks like he's one of those units that you look at and you wish you could have recruited him. Recruited him before he became the Mad Dragon, because he looks fucking awesome.
Anyway, after that scene, which I think is pretty good, there's then comes a very interesting thing. There's a single map where you're just fighting some enemies, and then you have a choice. You see, after Regal Forest, all gets this weird Celica. I'm doing air quotes for that. It's calling him to Fear Mountain. So Alm does so. Also because the nearby village says, "Damn that Jerome! He took Zeke, the wonderful Zeke's love of Titania, and now she's trapped in Fear Mountain." Essentially, the villagers are saying, "Please get back to Tanya and kill Nui Baba before going to fight Zeke." And you should, because if you don't, you have to kill Zeke and Titania apparently gets sacrificed.
Not the most fun thing.
So save those two. To do that, you need to go up Fear Mountain, and then, oh, by the way, you can go into the mountain. Guess what Fear Mountain's like?
Well, the fact that it's literally titled Fear Mountain, I imagine horrifying.
Oh, you have no idea.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Fear Mountain led into some fucking, like, nightmare dimension.
Not quite, but anyway. The first thing in the shrine is there's this weird soldier person who's, and if you talk to it and say yes to it, you'll get in a fight with this weird half invisible, half spectral dragon. And if you kill it, you get something called the Gossamer Hair. Something will open, and you'll get Duma's Lance. Besides looking cool and being golden, Duma's Lance has the Vengeance skill attached to it. Yes.
Oh!
That Vengeance skill.
That sounds fucking rad.
Equip that to someone like Lucas or Forsyth, let their HP get down to about halfway, and then watch them do their normal attack, plus another good 20 damage added on. It's really powerful. And then if you go further into the mountain, past the Mila idol, you get access to the Gate of the Dead and the Gate of the Living. Draven, you have a choice. Do you want to go in the Gate of the Dead first or the Gate of the Living? I'd like to note, the music here is fucking unsettling, and and the further you go in, the more it looks like the walls are splattered with blood.
Okay, so Gate of the Dead or Gate of the Living?
I'll warn you, the Gate of the Living is harder. And more creepy.
Oh, sure, let's go with that then. Let's go into the nightmare dimension.
I'm actually going to use Gate of the Dead. The Gate is pretty simple. It's a cavern with stalagmites and stalactites, and there's some items in it.
Well, you're no fun.
And a revival spring. And now to the Gate of the Living.
Ah, lovely. Alright, so, what does it look like?
Well, about halfway through the Gate of the Living, it turns into actual stone instead of just a cave, and the walls look like they're covered in blood. Dried blood.
I'm sorry, that's... So part of it just looks pretty, and then it's also disturbing.
The thing about it is pretty. There's no pretty about that place.
I mean, you said astral stones, I'm just like...
No, I didn't say astral stones.
Go on, then what did you say?
Actual stone. Because the first half of the Gate of the Living is just a cave. Then it turns into what looks like an old temple.
Oh. And that temple is covered in blood.
Yeah. Also, at the end, you can choose to either get the Silver Shield or the Blessed Shield. Whichever one you don't pick disappears forever. The Silver Shield just gives some defense, while the Blessed Shield is essentially an HP restoring shield.
Okay.
Now, Draven?
Yes?
Keep them occupied for about 5 minutes. I need to use the restroom.
I'll try my best. I gotta go. I gotta check outside. I'll tell them how the weather is. The weather is looking quite interesting, I'll have you know, guys. It's a very interesting weather day. As in, it looks like it's going to rain, but it's only rained once so far. It's like the overbearing clouds of dread! Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Oh, and if you folks are wondering what I'm playing today, it's Central Fiction. Blaze Blue Central Fiction. I've somehow found a way to actually play one of my old mains again. Only took me 1,000 years. It's quite a thing. I thought they'd completely butchered Terramy, and they did. At least, kind of. He's definitely a bit weaker, but I guess at least he's still usable. Thank the heavens. It's all good in the hood. You know, there's actually a funny story about my... It's actually a bit of a funny story about the entirety of my fighting game mains, that for some reason... My friend got basically a free, I think, week or something of Photoshop, and... There's something I shall forever love that they made a fucking, like... They basically brought all of the like sprites from all of my mains together and made quite possibly one of the greatest images that will forever make me fucking laugh. I wish I could show it on stream right now, but all I can say is it's amazing and should forever be remembered. I think I should probably eventually show my compatriot. I don't refer to him as Roxas or anything. I just always refer to them as my compatriot and my comrade. Guess that's just how I am.
I'm back.
Welcome back. I entertained them with weather, and a story about how my friend had Photoshop for a week and decided to make something immensely hilarious.
Right then.
I'll show you what they made later.
Anyway, after Fear Mountain, we have Nui Baba's abode.
That sounds not nightmarish at all.
To put it simply, guess what the premise. Guess what's in the. Guess what the map is.
Go on.
An uphill battle, literally, with a castle with a castle / fortress fort at the top, and then. Ooh, and then comes in the center of that place is the boss who has an increased range. Guess what she has?
Go on.
She has the spell Medusa, which, unless they have Apotrope, will instantly reduce the target's HP to 1.
I'm sorry, what?
I'll repeat that slower. At the top of the map, surrounded by very strong heavy hitters and flyers and cantors, which summon gargoyles, with a heavily increased range, the boss has Medusa, a spell which instantly drops any character who does not have the skill Apotrope's HP to 1.
There is like a look I have on my face right now. I'm going to just send an image to you that can perfectly describe my reaction to this.
It's bullshit is what it is.
There is only like one fucking expression that can perfectly describe how I'm feeling right now, and you'll be fucking seeing it soon.
I just heard the notification. I hate you guys so much. I hate you guys so much. Yeah. Yeah, that was my expression too when I first saw this.
That's just no.
Imagine me about a year ago, looking through this map going, okay, this shouldn't be too bad, it's gonna be a little hard to do. What is that? Medusa. Let's see what this reduces target's HP to 1. Well, shit! I'd like to know I was playing classic mode at the time. Somehow I didn't lose anybody, but oh boy.
You almost did, I imagine.
Had to do a real bullshit thing where I had Alm and Gray, who was a Dreadfire at this point, rush up, get teleported up by Silk, kill all the enemies, and then kill Nui Baba. I used Mila's turn wheel like 4 times because I had to get a critical hit or I would lose. I hate this map and I hate Nui Baba. Fuck her. But not in that way. Just die.
I don't even really know how to put that into words. That's just like, why? Like, why? Why do you do this?
Most of Echo's difficulty is fake difficulty in upping enemy stats, having massive amounts of high-level enemy troops, having bullshit like that, or just simply the maps are stupid.
Yeah.
There's a
right.
reason. There's a reason I am never gonna play Echoes just for fun. Because if you play it for fun, you're gonna quickly remember, oh right, this game is low with fake difficulty up to 11. It's not fun. It's cheap. Cheap and stupid.
I'm just not sure how I'm even supposed to take it. I'm not even sure just how to take that. Like, how do you even just... Who allows that?
I don't know.
By the way, they should have probably been fired.
By the way, I'm gonna try and find that map so you can see what I had to deal with. Okay. Imagine this. And the only way in is through those stairs in the back, and there's like 15 tiles of open space between what you see and where the characters start. Besides one way up where there is three by one.
What is life even?
I don't know.
This is just like the picture I sent is getting more and more accurate by the minute. That's literally just how I'm starting to look at this in the most just... What kind of asinine gameplay is this?
That face is perfect for this whole game. It's especially in Act 6.
Lunatic Plus is one thing on Awakening. That's just an asshole. Lunatic on Fates is just some asshole.
Well, you can choose. You can choose to do that. You choose the Lunatic. You choose Lunatic. By the way, guess what's not in Echoes?
What?
Lunatic mode. There's no Lunatic mode.
Oh.
It's like they realized, wait, we don't have Lunatic mode. Well, yeah, I mean, it's already bullshit enough with all the open maps and stupid fake difficulty.
Lunatic. Stop Lunatic. Lunatic.
Yeah.
For the true masochists.
But yeah, this game is only hard because of bullshit like that. When I said that the Draven wasn't missing out on not buying echoes, I wasn't lying.
I mean, I just wanted it because it seemed fun. Well, at the very... I just wanted it because it seemed fun.
So... My laptop is actually low on power. I need to get the cord. But anyway, yeah. After that, you get to go into New Baba's in the interior of New Baba's place, and then guess who you meet?
Who?
The wonderful scatterbrain girl known as Tatiana.
Sounds nice.
She's scatterbrained, but she's very kind. She's also Zeke's lover.
Oh yeah, right.
There's... Yeah, it's... Oh boy. Anyway... After that, by the way, the recruiting for Tatiana is ridiculous. I'm gonna listen it out. Are you alright? New Baba has been dealt with, in case you're wondering. Tatiana, she's gone? You mean it? Well, thank you. I've been searching for my Zeke, but coming here was clearly a mistake. If you don't mind me asking, who are you exactly? I'm catching. You're starting as a fucking me too, Draven. That was not even on purpose, and you know it.
I know. I just like laughing at your suffering.
We're the deliverance, Tatiana. And this is true. Sophia really has invaded. We just got finished saving you. We realized that, right? And we sure didn't come all this way just to start harming innocent regalians. So long as you don't meet the fee in the field, okay. Then there's... Tatiana remembers that, oh yeah, there's this jackass lording over the village he's from.
Oh, right.
Then is this. Tatiana turns to Clive. Are you the leader of this deliverance? Of course you are. You must be. Just look at you. In that case, I need your help. My lover Zeke is in peril. Clive, forgive me, milady, but I fear you stand corrected. I am not the leader of the deliverance. Tatiana, but you're so tall and dashing. I thought for sure. To Lucas, it's you, isn't it? Yes, it must be. When is the focused air about you? Lucas, wrong again, I fear. Almir commands us. Tatiana, what? Hey there. Tatiana, forgive me. It's just that you're so young and... young. Yes. This is actually in the game.
Awkward.
Like... Tatiana is talking to then goes to Clive, and then Lucas thinking of the leaders, and then is just looking, is just like, actually it's me. And Tatiana doesn't really know how to respond. At all.
To a point, I can't really blame her. It definitely would be a bit confusing.
Now, on to Raquel Plains. Which... is either ridiculously easy or ridiculously hard.
I don't like... well, that's not a fun word. That just doesn't sound fun at all!
Essentially, if you, for some reason, started a battle and didn't save Tatiana, you have to fight Zeke's group. And by the way, here's the big thing that screwed over a lot of people out of Zeke and Tatiana. The second you click the start battle button on that screen and you haven't saved Tatiana, if you save after that, you cannot recruit either of them because they are now officially doomed. So if you want Zeke and or Tatiana, just go get Tatiana first before even thinking of fighting in the Regale Plains.
Sounds lovely.
However, if you have saved Tatiana, there's some very uplifting music, and Tatiana appears, says hi to Zeke. Zeke realizes, wait, I don't have to be stuck dealing with this asshole Jerome anymore. And then, and this is amazing, half of the troops, which are all under Zeke's command, turn green and turn on Jerome.
Oh.
The battle is easy because even though Zeke's troops are a bit weaker, having any gold knights while Jerome's does, they will still be able to pick off a lot of enemies, and essentially the only enemy that can so much as hurt Zeke is the boss. And even then, that's only if the boss somehow gets a crit, or Zeke has been severely worn down. Now, I'm actually gonna go now. So, Draven, guess what it's time for?
What?
It's time to talk about Tatiana and Zeke.
Okay. Okay. So, for some reason, I'm one of those fuckers that just, like, has started to just completely and absolutely love just Zeke, or his real name,
Ezekiel.
Camus.
Well, yes, okay, to explain. Zeke washed up on the shores of Regale, and the only name he can remember is Nyala, something like that, and his own name is Ezekiel, or Zeke for short. In fact, he is Camus from Marth's story. Now, I can't go any more into that, because I don't actually know who Camus is, sadly enough.
Camus, mighty warrior of Grust. Honorable, loyal, and to a point, well, actually not to a point, would fight and die for his homeland no matter what. But, to give a quote of Camus, so long as Grust continues to support Olher's ambitions, it does not matter what I know or think. I am a knight. I have a duty to fight for my motherland's glory till the very end.
I like him.
He's fucking awesome! And I should mention, voiced by Travis Willingham, who is the most fitting for this man.
Oh yeah, no, Travis.
This absolute fucking unit.
Alongside people like Yuri Lowenthal and Johnny Depp, Travis Willingham is godly.
Let me take a step back here. Apparently, he's just voiced by Travis Willingham for Heroes.
Aww.
He's actually voiced by Patrick Saints in Echoes, which is, I think that's actually better.
Yeah, Zeke just sounds commanding. And I'd like to note, Tatiana is a saint, and at level 4, she earns Fortify, which for 12 HP, I think, heals every unit for almost near max HP, for almost all of their HP within like a 5 square radius, or 4 square if it's diagonal. This is really important. Meanwhile, Zeke is a gold knight. And I'll put this bluntly. Unless your Matilda has been stat blessed out the wazoo, like at least 3 stat ups every level, Zeke is going to be one of the strongest units in the entire game.
Quite an amazing thing this man is.
And if you can get him any of the special weapons, if you can get him a steel lance for the storm spear ability, which is essentially a wind funnel from the spear. If you can get him, if you can equip him with Doom's lance, if you can get him and by the way, in the final dungeon of the game, you get Gravitas, which is the strongest throwing weapon in the entire game. And if you equip that to Zeke, he has a new weapon arts. He will become a moving wall of destruction that can even hit from 2 squares away.
Moving wall of destruction is very correct.
I'd also like to
How
know.
correct, you might ask?
I'd also like to note something. Guess what his victory animation is?
Go on.
It's a hair flip.
You know what? Definitely earned that.
Like, he just casually plants his lance in his stirrup and then brushes back his hair. And he just looks.
I approve.
And I'd like to. Okay. Oh, this is even better. Guess what he's holding in his official art.
If I'm correct, it's a legendary. Hold on. It was something called
He's holding Gravitas.
Gravis. There we go. That. I mean, it's an awesome weapon for him.
Like I said,
And probably a fitting one.
You can actually get it for him in the final dungeon. It's the only one of the legendary weapons that doesn't require either forge making or getting really lucky in the Fabled Labyrinth. And it's broken. Now, I'm trying to find his. Okay, here are his quote. I found his quick quotes. Die, villain! Consider this a mercy. Any last words? This ends here and now.
Again, all said with a voice that makes him sound just as powerful as he looks.
And just because I'm on this page, I'm going to bring up Delthea's quotes just so you can hear them. Delthea, sorry, not sorry. Who's been naughty? Let's make this quick. See ya. Yeah, I'm not kidding. The quick quotes in this game are fucking amazing.
If there's anything you can say, if there's anything you could give Echoes, they gave everyone, and I do mean everyone, at least some level of good voice acting.
And I'd like to note, he is still very loyal to his country. He says that he owes Rudolph a life debt for saving him. And he means it. The only reason he even joins Alm's party is because Rudolph told him if you meet a boy with a brand on the back of his hand, join him and fight me. In other words, if even anyone else leading the deliverance, Zeke would not have joined the army. He only does it out of loyalty for Rudolph. Zeke is a goddamn legend.
Zeke is. You now understand why I love this man.
Also, by the way, after this chapter, you can't continue with Alm's story until you beat Celica's because there's a roadblock in the way. Like a mountain slide. And then things go to the shitter again, because guess what the next map is?
And me now!
The last bastion! The last bastion! The most bullshit map in all of Echoes!
How bad are we talking here?
There are only... Okay, firstly, the boss is Slade. That creepy guy all the way from back in Act 1.
Oh, that just sounds fun!
Besides him, there are exactly 3 types of enemies on the map. Bonites, Arcanists, the mages, and General, and Barons, the third tier soldier. Here is the map!
Okay, sure. What do we got? This is... Oh no, I'm not gonna like what I'm seeing here. What the fuck?
I'd like to know. Bonites have an attack range of 4. They can attack from 4 squares away.
No. You're not getting by this just by technicality. What the fuck am I looking at?
You wanna know why it took me 2 months to beat Echoes? This map. I spent 2 weeks on this map alone. For those of you who don't know what the last bastion is, it's 5 corridors. It's 5 one square corridors, and in between them are 4 corridors that you can go up. At the end of each corridor are barons with high defense stats. And throughout each of the corridors are Bonites and Arcanists. Essentially, you have to brave through fire the entire way up. You wanna know how I beat this map? Do you wanna know how I beat this bullshit map eventually?
Go on.
I had my Bonites pick off the Arcanists for about 20 turns, and then I had Silk warp all into the center, kill the boss, rinse and repeat with all my heavy hitters, and kill them. It took me, and I'm not lying, 86 turns.
Sounds absolutely fucking Cheerios, mate.
If you can, once you eventually get past the bullshit Bonites and the bullshit Arcanists, the generals are really easy to kill because they're really just there to slow you down for a turn or two, so you can become a pincushion and essentially a target. And Slade is really fucking easy to kill. Slade is not the hard part. The boss is not the hard part. The map structure is absolute bullshit.
I don't even know how to put that into words.
If there's one tiny little cushion, if you go back 1 square on the map and then go right, you can enter some place they call the Secret Shrine, which is full of revenants, which are essentially the metal slime of the game. You know how in some games there are these enemies that are really hard to find, but they give out crap tons of EXP and once you kill them? The Secret Shrine is full of those things. Only problem, the second revenants see you and they have quite the range of looking, they will bolt. And you have to activate the run button, but here's the thing. You can't turn on a dime when you're running. You have to stop, slow down, and then turn back. And those things, and after about 10 seconds of running, the revenants will just poof out of existence.
Well then.
And at that point, levels aren't going to help you. This is why I hate Echoes. Cause the maps are bullshit! I mean, you saw what you saw it, Draven. You saw it, right? You had to.
I did. Looking at that, this does not seem fun at all. That's the one time I don't enjoy your suffering.
It wasn't even suffering. It was just endless screaming. The amount of times someone in my party died and I had to restart the damn chapter was, it must have been at least 30 times. So Draven, what do you think the final chapter looks like?
Not fun, if this is what it's been.
Here is the final chapter map.
Well, can't look too bad. Hopefully just... Okay. Here we go.
There is one caveat to this map. Would you like to hear it?
End me now.
It is the only map in the entirety of Echoes that where the objective is to defeat the boss.
Okay.
Guess where the boss is?
Where? Please, I just...
Look in the bottom right corner. Of the castle.
Fuck you!
Guess who the boss is?
Go on.
It's Rudolph. Now, I'm going to have to actually show you Rudolph's stats. Because, okay, you know what? I'm going to read off his stats once I find it, okay? Because it's really important. So, are you ready to hear his stats? Oh, by the way,
yeah,
I'd like to note he has renewal, which is the 5 HP healing thing to an angel ring. Now, his stats are as follows in normal mode. HP 52, attack 28, skill 17, speed 22, luck 20, defense 23, resistance 8. In hard mode,
here we go.
HP is the same. Attack 30. Skill 26. That is a 9. That is a +9 increase in skill. Speed 24. Not that much else. Luck 33. That's 13 more. Defense 25. Once again, not that much. Resistance 16. That is double what it is in normal mode.
Okay.
I'd like to know his critical quotes are: "The time has come. Fool! No mercy! Now perish!"
Okay, sure.
I'm also going to show you... Oh. This is what Rudolph looks like, Draven.
Oh no, I remember what he looks like. Kind of hard to forget what he looks like. Now people thought Garen was the Burger King. This is the Burger King.
Well, Rudolph also has a really deep voice. Now, would you like to know something about Rudolph?
Go on.
Rudolph is bar none the hardest boss in the entirety of all of Fire Emblem. The only thing...
Sorry, care to repeat that?
By the way, this is just counting Lunatic mode, because Lunatic mode is just essentially added on stats for no reason. Rudolph is the hardest boss in all of Fire Emblem history, bar none.
Okay.
He's harder than any final boss. Note, this is a normal mode, because Echoes has no hard mode, has no Lunatic mode. Nothing is tougher than Rudolph. So guess how you beat him? Can you guess?
No, I can't actually, and I'm worried.
Use Alm.
Sorry.
If Alm fights Rudolph, whenever Rudolph is supposed to get an attack in, which by the way, he will almost always be able to attack twice. There will be a message saying Rudolph isn't attacking Alm for some reason. Rudolph will never attack Alm.
I wonder why.
By the way, I'd like to note something. The best way to beat Rudolph is to have Alm use double lion every turn, so he can always get in 2 attacks, and then have Tatiana or Faye heal off any damage you took with Psychic, because you do not want to get any healers even close to Rudolph. Because here's the thing, Rudolph will not attack Alm. Well, Rudolph will not go towards Alm and pretend to attack him when he doesn't actually really. Only if Alm is the only one within range. If there is a single unit other than Alm that Rudolph can attack, Rudolph is going after that person. And they won't live. Because I checked some of his stuff. You wanna know what makes him even worse?
Go on.
Due to the injury he's carrying, which increases luck by 20 and heals 5 HP every turn, if Rudolph attacks another character, unless they have a skill or something that decreases, or unless there is some outside force like a skill or a weapon, which I don't think it was even possible, that reduces enemy crit rate, Rudolph has a flat 50% chance to crit any character.
Oh!
So, in other words, every time Rudolph attacks, you flip a coin. If it's tails, the character will die in 1 hit from a crit.
That's balanced. I'm sorry, let me take a step back there. What?
Because you're supposed to fight Rudolph with Alm only. That's the whole point of the chapter. Alm fights Rudolph. Because as it is revealed, like right after the chapter ends, Alm is Rudolph's son.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm bringing up the script right now, so give me a minute here. So as Rudolph is dying,
I'm proud of you, boy.
well, no, I'm actually trying to find it. Give me a second here. By the way,
gonna be homeless.
right before Regal Castle, Berkut breaks down and actually calls Rudolph uncle. Like, Berkut is fully broken. Post-battle. The scene fades into a CG image of Rudolph dying, telling his son the truth. Rudolph, you've done well. I'm proud of you, my son. And then Rudolph also reveals that his closest friend was Meissen. Meissen is best buds with the Emperor Vergel. By the way, Alm's full name is Albine Alm Rudolph II.
Dun dun dun.
Also, guess what Alm realizes he's just... Also, Alm realizes, oh god, I just killed my own father! I just committed patricide! No! And then Act 4 ends.
Calm down, Alm. It's a normal thing in Fire Emblem.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I know this is really off topic.
I kind of find that funny. It's a normal thing in Fire Emblem.
Yeah. By the way, this is severely off topic, but here's a little tidbit about Saber that you can learn if you talk to him in Dolth's Keep. Saber is Regalian.
Really now?
Yeah, no, he's Regalian. He left a long time ago. But yeah, he's technically an enemy to Celica, despite being essentially Celica's closest aide. Now, guess how Act 5 begins?
Everything is going bad.
No. I need you, Draven, I need your help with this here.
Okay, what exactly is it?
The very first conversation, I will be playing Berkut. You can play Duma.
Oh boy, I gotta bring out the fucking almighty death trap. Well, I mean, I'm already on the fucking script, so no need.
Opening cutscene.
I'm on it, don't worry.
At Duma Tower, Berkut enters the scene, distraught over the fact that Alm is Rudolph's son. It's not possible. Alm is the Emperor's true son? Which makes him the rightful successor to the Imperial throne. All this time, all the effort! What is it all been for? No, it isn't true. It can't be true. I refuse to believe it. Nothing but lies. Lies, 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 lies! I'd like to know, Ian Sinclair, around the time when he says all the effort, Berkut's voice cracks horribly. Berkut, is that an altar? How did I get here? What's happening?
Heed me.
Who are you?
Heed me. You who thirst for power. Call to me and accept me onto your soul.
That voice. Duma, is it really you? What? I'd like to note, Duma's voice has this very epic reverberation that makes you shiver. It brings a shiver down your spine.
It's, definitely a thing.
After that, Berkut breaks down. Renea comes in. Renea tries.
I'm not liking where this is going.
Renea tries to essentially calm down Berkut and say that yes, Alm probably wants to be friends with you. And then Renea says something that breaks Berkut. She says, "I never wanted to be Empress, and she says she just wants to stand by Berkut's side. Berkut takes this the horribly wrong way and thinks that she was kind to him in an act of pity. Were you laughing along with them? Rudolph, Masena, all the rest? Watching me toil away while you knew I would never become emperor? Was every kind word part of the act? Every smile an act of pity? Renea says, Berkut, you're frightening me, and then, Duma, O ancient god, I call it to you now. Grant me that power to send this ruin. For good and all! Take it me what price you will. I care not anymore! Renea screams, and the scene ends. Essentially, Berkut goes mad. In the insane way, not the angry way. Then we see Berkut holding Renea's dress, and Ferdinand runs into the room and is freaking out because he finds Berkut. Flames start to engulf Rudolph. By the way, this is a movie. This is a movie cutscene. This actually happens in like a full-on CG movie. Fernand sees that that Berkut is holding Renea's dress, and her flower accessories are on the ground. Fernand, who are you? What have you done to Lady Renea? Fernand starts glowing purple, and a demonic circle appears under him. He painfully struggles to get up as he's still on fire. Flames shoot out of the altar and forms a nude flame spirit of Renea, who is crying out in pain from her transformation. She then attacks Fernand, who screams in pain, who screams as he attacks a screen. Berkut then erupts into maniacal laughter as the scene fades out. And when they say maniacal, they mean like this. Except in Ian Sinclair's voice, not my creepy, high-pitched, snarky voice. Because I know my voice is kind of snotty.
I think the laughter act that is to be something like. Hold up, I think it's something like.
Yeah, like that.
Sorry.
Like that, but a lot longer and way deeper. Because Berkut's voice drops like a whole octave when he's laughing in this.
It's a bit hard. So I'm more, the word is, I'm more psychotic laughter than I am that kind of laughter.
Yes, we know. Now, here's the thing about Act 5. Act 5 is essentially just going into Duma Tower.
And what's Duma Tower like? Well, Sonny Jims, we've about to tell you.
I'm about to tell you.
Okay, well, I'm here for moral support.
By the way, at this point, Meissen shows up and essentially says he's going to join you. But not really.
I mean, he's there.
Hmm.
You can use him in battle.
No, you can't.
That's about it.
You can't.
You sure that's correct? Cause,
yes,
like,
I'm sure. He joins later.
Well then, why the fuck does it say, hey, that he's fucking recruited? Recruited in the fucking chapter 5.
Because he's recruited at the end of chapter 5. The actual end.
Oh, chapter 4.
He's not!
Chapter 4, I mean.
He's not, though!
Well, then why the fuck does it say he's recruited?
I don't know! Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I'll go and name him when we actually get to when we actually really use him. Anyway.
Well, anyway, together to the end.
Duma Temple. Firstly, The walls look to be made out of melted bones or people. Or it looks to be made entirely out of wax. Secondly, the music is very unsettling. It's just a low, like, hum for a minute, for about half a minute, then very creepy choir music. And the end of the track ends with what sounds like piano smashing. It's meant it's meant to make you feel scared. And guess when I played Act 5?
At night?
In the middle of the night, in the dead of night, with the lights off, with my headphones in.
You really just love to terrify yourself, don't you?
I didn't know it was coming!
Like, I think the first thing that should have set you off was Duma Tower. The fucking just...
I wasn't expecting...
You should expect this by now.
I had been to Duma Tower. I had seen it. This Duma Tower is underground. I wasn't expecting that.
We'll worry about it later. Just keep moving on. Keep moving along.
Anyway, the dungeon is pretty simple. You walk around. You go through some ports, some warps, and there are a bunch of different scenes. Firstly, you see Mila and Celica through some bars that you can't get through. And then Jeddah takes Mila's soul. Celica's soul. Sort of, not really. No. He teleports him and Celica away, and Alm says we have to get her. Then... after a while... There's an open area, and Fernand is dying.
Oh.
There's a very touching scene with a CG of Clive holding Fernand and begging him not to die. It's very touching, actually. There's also quite a bit of yaoi going on in that scene. The yaoi is strong in that scene. Which is not fun.
Yeah,
Shut up. I don't know how to say that. I don't like boy on boy stuff. Yuck.
I have particular tastes.
Yeah, I know. You have Yuri taste like me.
Oh no, I just have certain tastes when it comes to guys.
Okay then.
What in the fuck is that noise?
Sounds like a telephone. Anyway, soon after Fernand passes on, guess who we fight?
Hit it.
It's Berkut time!
And Renea.
Well, yes. Now, here's the map, Draven, for the fight against Berkut.
Alright, well, this looks demonic.
Look at Berkut's sprite, by the way.
He looks rather pleasant. He looks pretty good, and of course I can see the giant fire spirit next to him.
Now, few things. Firstly, Renea is full of support skills like freezing and like making you unable to move anywhere for a turn, and canceling out your magic. Also, Renee and Berkut are the only enemies in the game that share support that have support bonuses. It makes Berkut near untouchable.
Right.
Also, Renee does magic damage.
Oh.
And remember, resistance is very low for almost every single character in the game.
This is about to be bad, ain't it? Okay, calm down. Calm down. Calm down there.
I'd like to note, in this chapter, Berkut has a lance called the Kremhild. Can you guess what it does?
No, I cannot.
Well, firstly,
But I'd like to know. So please.
here's an image of it.
That'll be a fun thing to look at in a second when I'm not getting my ass kicked.
Firstly, Kremhild has the skill Phantasm, which cuts all magic damage in half. Secondly, it grants defense and resistance +5, making Berkut even tankier. And finally, guess what its range is?
I'm gonna go with 20.
1 to 3.
Oh. Holy shit, that looks like...
I'd like to note, Berkut's battle sprite is flickering with purple flames and his eyes are red for this fight.
That's just... wonderful.
Now, after you beat Berkut, there is a very nice scene where the spirit of Renea, surrounded by light, comes up and greets Berkut, and she forgives Berkut despite all the horror she just put her through, and the two go to the afterlife together to be king and queen somewhere else. It's very sweet how it actually ends, that Berkut is happy when he realizes Renea was all he ever needed. Also, you get the memento ring, which is a ring that Berkut's mother gave to which Berkut's mother owned and gave to him before she passed on. It's very sweet.
There is a bit of a thing. There's a bit of an interesting thing that should be mentioned about cut content in games. Particularly this one, has some interesting content. Apparently, Ferdinand and well, let's just mainly go over Berkut. Berkut apparently was supposed to be playable, but
Yep.
they cut it. They cut it a bit of the ways into development.
Yeah,
Would have been interesting.
They realized halfway through the development there was no way for them. There was nowhere way for them to actually get Berkut on your side without messing up his whole personality. So they just kept him to enemy only. Same with Ferdinand. By the way, at the start of Chapter 5, there's a very funny scene with Celica's party. Do you want to hear it?
Go on.
Saber. Blast it all! This place is crawling with terrors! So much for begone wherever you will, you damn useless priest! Bowie. And what is that supposed to mean? You're not actually thinking of leaving Celica in there to running away. Saber. Did you hear me say anything about running away? Give me some credit here, you little snot! Conrad, stop flapping your jaws and focus on the fight. I prefer not to die here if it's all the same with you two fools. Essentially, Saber is pissed off, Bowie is pissed off, and Conrad says, "Talking is a free action, you damn idiots!"
Well then.
Now, at the end of this place, guess what happens?
Go on.
Yeah, you go into the royal catacombs, and it's a gauntlet of enemies. And guess who you can use?
Go on.
Only Alm. However, if your Alm hasn't been if your Alm has gotten at least any sort of good stat ups, he can actually do pretty fine.
Well, that's nice.
Then, once you get to the top, guess what happens?
Go on.
You see, at the very beginning of the game, there's a cutscene of Alm and Celica fighting. This happens again. Celica has lost her soul to Duma and has become a witch.
Oh.
So now she's a puppet. And then Alm takes Falchion and Celica gets gutted by it. And there's even a moment where some drops of what is obviously blood, but it's been turned white, drip out of the wound. Celica is dead.
She did.
And then some plot bullshit happens, and somehow Mila revives her with the falchion. But one problem that's never brought up, Celica still lost her soul. And yet she's fine after Mila revives her, despite the fact that her soul can't be recovered because Duma ate it.
There's like, yeah, there's an expression I have right now, and I think this perfectly kind of fits it. Confused and slightly concerned.
Yeah, that. Damn it, you were really good with these images.
Do you have any idea how many things I have fucking collected in my day? I
Yes,
could probably
actually.
go back and have one meme. He ready for you.
Anyway, after this, the two heroes activate the turn wheels, and guess what happens?
Here we go.
It's time for the final battle!
But first, a word from everyone in the party.
Yeah, but before that, I'm trying to find an image. 1 second.
There's something
Draven, do you actually know what Duma's corrupted form looks like?
I've only seen the heroes variant, so I haven't seen what it looks like normally. Please show it.
Well, here's the official image.
Well, it can't look that bad. I mean, what? So what the fuck?
Yep. And here is his portrait.
I mean, both look terrifying, but I think the worst one is the old one.
By the way, I almost here's Berkut's portrait for the final battle, in case you haven't seen it before.
I'm up for it. Yes, I remember this. Fucking violent Berkut.
Anyway, here's the map. Here's the final battle map.
Okay, right. That looks peachy. Yes, peachy.
Now, before the battle even begins, every single member you can bring in has a quote. Now, here are all the quotes. This happens the first time you click on them in the battle. Gray. All we're asking for is the ability to live as we think best. Is that really so bad? Tobin. Even without gods, I have my friends. With them, I can survive anything. Cliff. It's all strength and power with you. If you're that desperate for the show of force, I'll be happy to oblige. Skipping phase because it's all about Alm. Lucas. A battle between god and mortal sounds exhilarating to me. Silk. Merciful Mila. I carry will within me. I will see Duma free from his suffering. Claire. This business of relying on gods and so forth also is quite absurd to me. The creepy man will excuse himself now. Creepy man is Jetta. Clyde. I'll take a proud death as my own man over life of kneeling to a mad god. Forsyth. This one's awesome. I have no deference when we wield unjust power over his people. Such a despot is no god of mine. By the way, Python, when he says his line, he sounds so good. Such a despot is no god of mine. He just sounds so good.
I'll take some of this as well, since I'm finally on this dialogue here.
Good. We're on Pythons at this point.
People who go on and on about power are just the worst!
Luthier, your spirit's voice is ghastly dark. I have no use for magic this foul. Matilda. Draven?
I alone decide who I choose to worship. But I can promise you one thing. It certainly won't be you!
Those last... It certainly won't be you. She yells that. Dafia. Come on, who needs God when you're as strong as me? Draven?
I'll let you take Titania here.
Tatiana. Go for it.
I'll let you take Tatiana.
No.
I have a reason to want to take Zeke. Do you understand me?
1 second. I need to let my laptop, like, shut down for a second and restart. It went flickery for a moment. Because my laptop is dying, so some of the screen is a little flickery. Oh, come on. So, okay. Oh well, I'll just have to turn off my laptop after this. Tatiana, this is my world, and Zeke's as well. I won't allow you to endanger it.
Emperor Rudolph, your loyal servant will see your dreams realized!
That was almost perfect. Mycen. This is a battle I cannot lose. For my own sake or yours, Rudolph. May.
Alright, here we go. You're gonna pay hard for what you did to Celica, buddy. You're gonna pay pretty hard!
Draven took some trailers with that one. Bowie. Sorry, but I got noticing the way people like you operate. That's reason enough for me to put you down!
Oh boy, here we go. I'll never accept a god so horrible.
That was Genny. Saber. Well, hell, I've come this far. Might as well see the damn thing through the end, lass.
Okay.
Valbar.
Forcing your way on the world by force? You're no better than pirates! And it just so happens I don't take kindly to pirates.
I'm taking these next two. Calmly. I get the feeling my luck ran out the day I got mixed up in all this. But meh, why not? May as well see things through to the end. Leon.
Ah, yes.
Your
Leon.
your fetish for power is simply barbaric. Where's the joy? The love? Your perfect world is dull as dirt.
I kind of wanted that one.
Too bad, mine.
Fine, geez, you'll have fun.
Paula.
The greatest of powers is but one mistake away from utter tragedy. We know that all too well, and I refuse to stand aside and watch it happen.
Katria.
You really need to start taking these more.
I did too, so you do too.
This world doesn't exist as a plaything for dragons.
Est. It's our world, and we want to shape it. Arcanea and Valentia both. Jesse.
Ruling the world with might and terror? Talk about stale cliches. What's the point in living if you're not having fun? I'm not about to find out.
Atlas. Yours is the world I fought to protect. I'm taking every one of you down.
It's almost painful to watch. Just how hopelessly ignorant can someone be?
That was Sonia. Dean. I won't say a word by my own appealing per se, but a word where about you is out of the question. Nova. That's you. I'm doing Conrad.
Alright. Divine Duma, you have lived long enough. It is time to leave a world of hope and possibility to the next generation.
Conrad. Duma. O ancient benefactor, consider this an act of mercy. A great god deserving of a proud and glorious end. And we're not doing the DLC characters for obvious reasons.
Sounds fair.
And now I need to turn off my laptop because it's getting flickery again. So, the map for this chapter is a little bullshit. Firstly, your forces are split into essentially Alms and Selga's parties. Right above Alms' party is 2 Gold Knights and two Dread Fighters. They have names, special portraits, and are somewhat hard. Moving inward, there's some Mogos, which are essentially eyeball tentacle monsters, and right in front of them is Jeddah. I didn't mention this before, but between the Duma Gate and the tower, you fight Jeddah. Here's the thing with Jeddah. You can only attack him on every 4th attack. The first 3 attacks will do nothing to him because of Duma for some bullshit reason. And the 4th attack will damage him. Jeddah also constantly spawns Moguls. In other words, Jeddah is a living roadblock. And he's essentially in a chokehold area where the only way to get around him is either going through some swamp or yeah, no, it's either kill him or go through some swamp. It's a 3x3 area. And then you get into the center of the area, and alongside some other things, there's an arcanist with Medusa. Remember that's about Draven?
Nice.
Remember that's about Draven?
Yeah. Don't worry, I remember it. I can't forget it.
Instantly reduces your HP to 1 if you're not a Dread Fighter. And then we have Duma.
Sounds bloody lovely. Sounds bloody lovely what we've gotten ourselves into.
Firstly, I'd like to know, if an enemy has over 60 HP, their HP bar will just say question mark, question mark, question mark until you drop below 60 HP. Guess how much HP Duma has?
Go on.
120.
Sounds lovely.
Now guess what he will do every 3rd turn? Earthquake!
Oh.
It's very annoying. And then, after you have reduced his HP to 50, guess what happens?
Go on.
Duma changes up his attack pattern. His weapon gets stronger, and there are only two things that can damage him now. And guess what they are?
I'm gonna say Alm and Nosferatu.
Yep. Be more specific. The only things that can actually hurt Duma are weapons with the ability Godslayer, which is, to my knowledge, only the Falchion. And Nosferatu, because Nosferatu, the thing about Duma is it's not that he takes no damage. Looking into his code, what happens is that all weapons besides Godslayer weapons will always miss. The only reason Nosferatu won't miss is because it will always do a flat 6. It always has a flat 60% chance to hit, and nothing can decrease that, except for supports. In other words, the only reason Nosferatu can even hit him is because of a loophole in the code. I am not proud. I will tell you exactly how I beat Duma. Would you like to know how?
Go on.
Clerics in this game can summon phantoms, which are essentially cannon fodder things. I had Genny spam hers, which summons soldiers. And here's the thing. Duma never once attacked any of my characters because the soldiers were there. Phantoms always have higher priority than anything else. Because, and I quote, if the enemy sees a guaranteed kill, they will go for it no matter what. And the soldiers are so weak that Duma will always go for the soldiers first. Essentially, you exploit his coding to... I exploited his coding to kill him.
The way that just is feels like something's... The way that just is feels like... I mean, at the very least, it somewhat feels like it fits. I mean, Duma's probably the kind of guy that's just gonna stomp out the weak.
Yeah, he's the god of power.
Yeah,
now,
so he's gonna obviously stomp out the weak.
Now, guess how the game ends?
Hit me.
And I mean the final battle.
Well, by looking at that chapter thing and the script, well, I mean, Alm gives a rousing speech and then tosses his shield.
Stop! Out of my line, my speak, my map. Do not steal this from me.
I wasn't planning on it. I was just gonna say what the hell happened
Yep.
next.
If the game will calculate, and if the game realizes the next attack Alm will do will kill Duma, Alm will say like 1 or 2 lines, and then he will toss away his shield, grip Fortune in 2 hands, lunge upward, and stab the tip of Fortune straight into Duma's eyeball. This was also present in Gaiden, in all its epic glory. When I first saw this, it was like midnight, and I screamed, "He tossed away the shield!" So much that my dad woke up for about 2 seconds.
Well then.
It was glorious. And that, folks, is Fire Emblem Echoes. But not really. Because
We still
guess
got more bullshit to talk about.
Act 6, the post-game.
What is the post-game like, you might ask? A lot of things.
You have no idea, do you?
No, I don't. All I know is we're gonna need to talk about the classes.
No, okay. I'll start with, we'll do that at the end. Firstly, once you win, before we even do that, there's something I found out after looking through some art books for a while. After Duma and Mila's corpses eventually turn into some very familiar things that you and me probably know from Awakening. Can you guess what they are?
Go on.
Mila's corpse turns into the Mila tree, where Tiki is resting atop in Fire Emblem Awakening.
Oh.
Duma's corpse turns into the Demon's Ingle, aka the place where you fight Yen Fei in an active volcano.
Oh!
Which is weird, because when Divine Dragons die, they're supposed to turn into trees like Mila did. And yet Duma turned into a volcano.
I see.
Now, here is what Act 6 is. Essentially, go along some sea routes and reach Thebes. Can you guess where Thebes is, Draven?
Nope.
I cross-referenced. Thebes and Thebes Labyrinth are in the exact same spot as Port Ferox.
I'm sorry. What?
You go across the sea and you go to the land where it eventually becomes Plegia, Yeliz, and Regna Ferox.
I don't even know how to put this.
And Thebes is right smack dab where Port Ferox is. Now, the Thebes Labyrinth, I will be blunt. There are 10 floors. I have never gotten past floor 2. Do you want to know why?
Lovely.
Every single enemy in there is overpowered, and Thebes Labyrinth is the entire reason the overclasses even exist. Now, can you guess what is at the bottom of Thebes Labyrinth?
Well, I know what's at the bottom of it, and... Oh no.
It's the game's super boss, called The Creation.
Who is the super boss?
Let me explain. As you go through the labyrinth, you find these writings on stone tablets from a man called Fornius, who's also known as the Demon Alchemist. Essentially, Fornius was trying to recreate life, and a bunch of people and the people of Thebes trapped Fornius in his own labyrinth, which eventually became the labyrinth. Fornius fused divine dragon blood and his own blood to make the creation. And then eventually the creation eats him. The creation is very small, only about Duma's size. But it should look very familiar to anyone who's played Awakening. The creation
is Grima!
Mm-hmm. You may have wondered, if you if you hit Grima enough times, his face breaks off and there's a very human-esque face underneath his dragon face. It's because Grima is man-made. Grima is a fusion of some weird things called thanophages, which, by the way, guess how Ryzen exist? Little beetles crawl into corpses and infect them. And those things are called and those beetles are called thanophages.
Oh boy.
Grima is a mix of thanophages, divine dragon blood, and human blood. And Grima is the super boss of Valentia of Fire Echoes. Yes, he's much smaller. But yes, Grima exists in Echoes.
There's also something that happens after you beat him, but we'll get to that in a sec.
I have never gotten down to the creation because I am not that good.
So should I explain it then?
I know how the creation works, but yes,
Well, okay. So from what I remember, and this is a bit of an interesting thing, when the creation dies, it leaves one thing. Of course, a main symbol that shall forever be remembered as the symbol of Grima.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly, if I'm correct, it does say something to the party. If I'm correct, it's going to forever haunt the lineage for ages.
The lineage of who, you may ask?
Well, anyone who bears the brand. Guess who bears the brand?
Our favorite tactician, Robin.
Yep.
Essentially, because some cocky alchemist messed with life, he brought forth the monster that would one day be the Dark Dragon of Fire Awakening.
The Fell Dragon, the bringer of doom, the bringer of the fucking end.
The creation, Fornes' creation, Grima. I'm going to regale a little tale. When I first got to Thebes Labyrinth, I fought through it, and the very first enemy I fought killed me in one blow. So, being me, I looked up Thebes Labyrinth and how to beat it. I found a wiki. I went to Serenus Forest and saw every little thing about this, and then I saw the final boss called The Creation. I was curious, what's The Creation? So I looked up Fire Emblem Echoes The Creation. I looked it up and I saw that looks like Grima. That looks like Grima. I scrolled down. I read through. I found out how it was made. At the very bottom it says The Creation is a younger form. Is a child form of Grima. Grima is a child. When I found out about this, I closed the tab. I turned off my laptop. I went to my bed. I sat in it for a while, and then I screamed loudly for 5 minutes. I was alone in the house at the time.
This is kind of just the case of how mortally terrifying it is. Like, just to point out, that's just where it... Let's just point this out. That's at the end. That is at the end of your fucking fight. Literally, you fight that at the end. And it's a dread-headed and terrifying realization about that thing.
The only other time I have ever ever been so terrified in a video game is a few days ago. I was playing Bravely Default. I had bought it about a month ago, and after playing Bravely Second and loving it, I finally got to Default. I was at the final boss. I was looking straight at him. This creepy dragon thing. Spoilers, by the way. Massive spoilers, actually. And then he's supposed to start talking about the Celestial Realm and how he'd bring stuff to it. And then, in the background, something started appearing. And about 10 seconds later, my face showed up. The Celestial Realm was our world. I was apparently human. Is full of Celestials. Us. And Tiz was being inhabited. Tiz, the main character, was being inhabited by a Celestial. That being me. I stared at that for a good while, just seeing my own self through the 3DS camera, looking back at myself and just thinking, well, this is fourth wall breaky.
I'm sorry.
I lost it.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of laughing at that because I just realized you can wear you can just have that moment be ruined by wearing the most stupidest things.
Well, you can only really see your face in that. So what I saw was me with my glasses and my headphones on, the same ones I'm wearing right now, actually.
I know, but at the same time, I'm just thinking about this. Just imagine wearing like a fucking mask that looks ridiculous.
Still, it was unsettling. There's this thing about video games. People always think that video games are only for fun and entertainment, but video games can also be terrifying. Whenever there's fourth wall breaking and the game starts talking to me, the player, I tend to get really scared.
I feel bad when I'm gonna feel bad when I show you Hello Charlotte.
Eh?
Don't worry about it. You'll see soon.
Oh boy. Pray for me, viewers. Pray for me.
I'm gonna be honest, the smile I have on my face right now, I think there's like an image for it that can perfectly describe it, and it's... let's see, do I still have it here?
Anyway, Draven.
Yeah?
We need to talk about the overclasses.
Okay, here we go.
Can you pull up them all, please? My laptop is currently off.
Alright. Alright, let's start off. This time we can actually start off with Alm. Alm and Celica. Let's start off with Alm. Fittingly, and I still love this, of this. Alm's overclass, which we can definitely, which kind of is the most hilarious thing of going back all the way to Walhart, is called Conqueror.
And Alm gets a very fancy cape, as I recall.
If I'm correct, Walhart has a very similar cape.
It's a callback to Walhart, in other words.
It's kind of amazing.
Anyway,
what does this come with? Well, it comes with particularly what it comes with one thing. It comes with bow range +1. And it comes with the skill Conquest. Negate the user's armor and beast tweak. Oh wait, that's just for Walhart. That's just something else. But yeah, it just has bow range. It just has bow range +1.
Still. Next up,
Fucking amazing.
Celica's class.
Otherwise known as Regain?
I quote this, Renegon.
That sounds stupid, but whatever.
What does it do?
How do I even put this in a word? Hurt. Like, apparently it gives Celica the ability. It's an increase of stats, but it also gives her the aura spell. What the fuck is aura?
High power spell.
That's all it does.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd like to know, every single overclass requires a $2 DLC to even get. And all your character has to be level 20, which is hard.
Now, something we should mention about these classes, they look fucking amazing.
One small problem though, any sort of like differences in how the character looks is gone. Lucas and Forsyth look the exact same. Any of your archers look the exact same. They get rid of all the like uniqueness of each sprite.
It's sad.
Anyway, what other class should we do next?
Well, I kind of want to talk about this, but like I'm going to send you an image of like the art of what the Enchantress looks like, because you are going to fucking love it.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying, you're going to love it because just no, this is not a good image. Let me get the other one. Perfect. This is better. This is a whole lot better.
Grabbing my phone. Alright.
Behold now this.
One second. I have to lower it. I have to. Ah! You got a bunch of freaking. Oh god. Oh yeah, I know this.
It's a very pretty look.
I wish
really,
Lilith. I wish FE Lilith had that look actually. Oh well.
I mean, nothing really stopping us, but now let's go on to the next one.
Well, no, we have to explain what the Enchantress is and what it's the evolved form of.
Okay, Enchantress. Enchantress. Evolved form? Well, Priestess. And technically Mage. It's weird.
Female mages.
But mostly Priestess. Actually, no, it's just Priestess.
Female mages evolve into the Enchantress, which is essentially they get a very nice raven feather cloak.
It looks very, very pretty.
What is it? Does it add any sort of skills?
Answer. No.
Anyway, next class.
No. There is a bit of one thing I should like to mention. Is that it does have some interesting things, which is a bit of trivia. Its Japanese name. Its Japanese name is Morgana. Which references, and I quote, Morgan Le Fay.
Oh boy! Oh, from Arthurian myth.
Yes, Arthurian.
Shout it.
All right.
Also,
right.
I
But
think
that's enough of that.
I think that the concept art is based off of May's Enchantress outfit.
Well, ain't that nice?
Because May has pink hair.
Well, let's go. Well, let's now talk about what comes next. Otherwise known as the Yasha class. What is the Yasha class?
Evolved form of Dread Fighter.
What does it fucking look like?
Okay, I'll explain the best I can. The person gets weird, feathery. Okay, their model sprite
They
looks.
honestly look like they came right out of a. They honestly look like a fucking Demon King.
Like, they get these weird spiky pads that cover their chest and shoulders, and they get a weird gem thing on their head and a bunch of wings. They look like they came out of Dark Souls.
I just realized it looks like a more menacing version of Vlad.
Fair. Also, these things can still go through the Dreadfighter loop.
Actually, wait. Let me rephrase that. Is that it looks like a more ridiculous version of Vlad.
I'd like to know. Yaksha can class change into villagers.
Welcome back to the loop, buddy.
Ooh, I found a nice image that you might like. I'll just see if I can bring it up. Next class.
Feel free to while I bring out the. Oh my god! I actually have to fucking say this. The next class is called, and I quote this, the Spartan.
Which is the evolved form of Barons.
Yep, and it's just as fucking ridiculous as it sounds.
Essentially, massive shield with a lion on it, and some fancy Spartan armor with a big old plumed helmet.
It also comes with a new skill, Phalanx. Blocks incoming attacks, negating all damage. Adjacent allies multiply odds of activation. That's actually kind of cool.
Here we go. Here's an image.
This is cool. This I approve of.
Anyway, next class.
Oh, good lord, this is getting ridiculous. Okay. Alright, next class. What do we got? It's... Okay, I'm gonna try to pronounce this. Oliphanetir.
I can pronounce this. Oliphanter. Oliphanter.
Oliphanter?
Mm-hmm.
I just... Okay.
The evolved form of Bow Knights.
What is this? What does this fucking thing have? Well, it's...
Lots of shiny gold armor, and the bow turns into more of a laser cannon.
Yeah, about right.
It's hard to explain. All the other classes are really hard to explain. Just look them up yourself and see how stupid they look.
It's also apparently a, and I quote this, apparently it makes their design look more like an elephant-mounted unit.
Yeah, it does.
But but one thing it does get is bow range +3.
Which, by the way, if you have an Oliphanter using a longbow, they can snipe Grima without ever getting into Grima's attack range.
Hooray! But that's just one thing. Let's get to the next thing, which is the evolved form of the Sage. What is the evolved form of the Sage? Guru.
Which gives them a really weird looking black crown and a skin tight outfit with the cape.
I feel like half of this. Oh my lord.
What?
Apparently, the guru's Japanese name is Solomon.
I see.
Great.
Any skills?
No, just some stat boosts. Actually, wait, no, hold on. They learn Lemigaton? What the fuck is this?
What does it do?
What the fuck is this? Hold on, I'm getting it right now. I'll be run back to you with this information as soon as it fucking wants to work for me. Is that the fucking what is life anymore? Okay, the spell summons illusionary terrors. Errors. It's random what you get, but it is possible for revenants, bone walkers, necro dragons, and witches.
I see.
Fitting that its Japanese name is Solomon.
Mm-hmm. Next up, Squirgle.
It sounded like Squirtle, I hope you know that.
Skorgul. Score, go. Skogo, sorry. Skogo, no R. Skogo.
Yeah.
Which is the evolved form of...
a Gold Knight!
Cavalier. Class, guys. Cavalier class. And what do they look like, friend?
Well, the best way to describe it is... it's like a mixture of, like, Norse mythology and... you know what? I'm just gonna send it to you so you can see it for yourself.
Fair, I'm better explaining this stuff than you.
I mean, it definitely is Norse mythology, just with, like... actually, no, I think this is full on Norse mythology. I mean, it is a Norse myth reference, but there's also just a bit... the armor is basically Norse.
Nope, but the... button. It's loading. Okay, essentially... lots of shiny golden white armor.
It's pretty, and it looks cool.
Yeah. Okay, I know we're forgetting one or two.
Nah, we still... well, if by forgetting one or two you mean actually just two, we have the Pegasus Knights.
Harrier.
And their and their overclass. Yeah, Harrier. What the flying... what the fuck?
To put it bluntly, guys, the entirety of the center of their stomach is exposed and their chest. And skin tight.
And they are also riding a flaming fucking horse.
By the way, side note, I like to note, Yasha's on-screen sprite looks like they have bat wings. Yasha. The designs get really stupid.
Yeah, well,
and it looks like they're wielding Brynhilder's lance from FGO.
Ah, lovely. Well, here's some good news. At least the exemplar is a little bit better. It's not ridiculous, but I think the problem is that it's actually... the problem is that it's... honestly, the problem is that it's not ridiculous, but the problem is that it's not really noteworthy either. What is the exemplar, you might ask?
Evolved
it's the evolved
form
form of the priest.
Saint.
It's the evolved form of the priest. Eastists. Or saints.
Saints. The healers. It looks... to quote, Tatiana looks like Palutena from Kid Icarus.
I mean, it's the problem that it doesn't look ridiculous.
Anyway, is that all of them?
Yep, that's all of them. All of them.
Okay, so guys, remember when I said that there was a secret surprise that even Draven didn't know about?
I fear.
Before we end off the stream today, we have to decide what we're doing next.
Oh no.
So we have a couple of options, people. We can either do some more gaming, God of Year 2, we could do some Final Fantasy if we wanted to for whatever reason, we could do Fatal Bullet, or we could do more talks. What talks are we speaking of? Well, there are two that come to mind immediately.
Oh no.
The first is Final Fantasy.
Oh no.
The other
I have fear.
is Fate Grand Order.
Fate. I ain't doing Final Fantasy. I can't do it. Nope. Fuck that. Fuck. At least with Fate Grand Order, I can explain shit. At least I know what I'm talking about there. At least when I talk about Final Fantasy, but when I talk about Final Fantasy, I'm gonna look like a fucking dumbass.
Draven?
Because despite knowing a lot of things, I know jack shit.
Draven, would you like to know something about Final Fantasy when we would you like to know something?
And me now.
Yeah. We're doing it no matter what you say eventually. And secondly, I'm speaking of Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 5, Final Fantasy 6, and Final Fantasy 15 because I haven't played any of the other Final Fantasies. I have not played 7. I have not played 8. I haven't played 9, 10, or 12. But I know the stories of 7, 8, 9, and 10. Only way I know about all is 12.
More lost now. I mean, I guess at least I know a little bit about fucking Kafka.
Draven, you have a choice.
Yeah.
I am going to roll a dice.
We can't even decide heads or tails.
We're choosing we're either choosing to do games or one of the two talks.
I mean, I was gonna just go with talks because this is actually fun.
What? Now, firstly, what side of the dice do you want me to roll?
Go with a regular sided dice.
So 6?
Yeah.
Now, pick 2 numbers.
I'm gonna go with 3 and 6.
Oh, you got lucky, Draven.
Ah, lovely.
You rolled a 6, which means
Nice.
which means games are out.
Yay.
Now we're rolling a d4. Pick 2 numbers.
What are the numbers on there?
1 through
All of
4.
1 through 4. Give me a 3.
Nope, 2.
End my life. end my fucking life. I don't even know what the fuck to talk about in either of those games.
You got lucky,
Not even
Draven.
15.
You got
Not even fucking 15. I don't know shit.
You got lucky, Draven. Guess what?
What?
We're doing Fate next time. That just means you have to wait a little bit longer until Final Fantasy comes up, Draven. After all, it's my channel.
Not if I track you into my streams and we talk about the plot of Blaze Blue.
I at least know some Blaze Blue, dude.
That's something else. Something else bullshit. Yeah. I have to delay this horror. I don't even. All I know about Final Fantasy VI. All I know about Final Fantasy VI is Kefka. That's it. And also suplexing of trains.
Now,
And of course, then there's also Final Fantasy 15.
so
All I know about that is one particular thing and one thing alone: the boy band.
now then, so everyone, next time, it's Fake Radar time.
Fuck.
Next time we'll be talking about Fake Red Order. It's chapters, the servants, which will take hours.
We also will be explaining some general plots of the origins of certain servants, and also the animes in which they originated from, and also Fate Extra. Fuck my life, we're so fucked.
And if Draven can...
Yes, please go on.
No, keep going with what you're saying, Draven.
No, I didn't even have anything to say. I'm out of ideas. I'm dying.
And if Draven plays nice, we'll even give you a special look into our own role playing of Grand Order itself.
I don't think we're that fucking insane.
No, I'm not that insane, Draven.
Yay.
However, if you complain too much, I will do it no matter what.
Got it. Fine.
Now then, thank you all for watching. This has been Rox's Shade.
And the Vagabond Draven.
Speaking of Fire Emblem, and that is all Fire Emblem from myself and Draven. Thank you all very much for listening, and next time, it's time to speak about Fate. See you then!